Podketeers.
I don't know how Dr. Doom speaks. So, ha 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 ha. I am Dr. Doom. Ha 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 ha.
You could talk like anything, like, hello, everybody, my name is Dr. Doom. And
I can't do that one.
That would be pretty funny if he did.
I could maybe Cartman it.
There we go, guys. I said I'm Dr. Doom.
Or what if he was Kermit?
I mean, if I was Dr. Doom, I'd probably sound a little bit like this. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's,
That was good.
Yeah. Curse you, Iron Man, or who? I mean, the Fantastic Four.
Curse you, Fantastic Four,
Yes.
for not allowing me to see Miss Piggy. You swines.
You know what?
Is this
Dr.
one of those
Doom?
impersonation things we talked about last episode?
I don't know. That one's working pretty good. I think the mask is doing you some favors there with your
Maybe.
Kermit.
Yeah.
It sounded pretty dang good, I'll tell
Can
you
you
that.
hear me okay, though?
Yes.
I'm concerned that it's going to sound like I'm Bane this whole episode.
No.
was born in the dark. You merely adopted it.
I think the extra is like a special effect that you don't even have to use. It's already
Alright,
inserted
perfect.
naturally.
Perfect.
If you get tired of it and it's too sweaty under there,
It is sweaty.
then just we'll take a little break and you could take off the mask and wipe off and your Doom.
There's
You know
there's
what?
so much going on here.
So what you could do is take off your mask, and then when you want, you could edit and just blur your face
Oh my goodness.
if you
It's-
like,
it-
and then put,
If I take off
don't
the
know.
mask, I'm gonna scare people.
We'll just take the front lights out and it's like those anonymous interview videos where they like
It's just all
my voice
pixelated.
is all
That would be funny. I actually had a choice because this thing keeps moving. I had a choice between this one and the costume that I'm using for a work thing that I'm doing, and it's based on, if you're a wrestling fan, you'll know what this is. I've posted this in multiple places, but I have an Uncle Howdy costume that I've been working on. And
That looks cool.
I was going to use this, except that this mask is a lot thicker, and it doesn't have space for me to use the headphones properly. This one ends a little, it's not as long, so I can actually still use my headphones with this one on. So that was the determining factor on which one I ultimately wore today.
right.
Yeah.
But
Comfort is key.
Yeah. So we thought we would bring back like a remix. This episode of a classic.
Something like that.
Of a classic segment that we've loved. We were considering doing a draft, and then Andrew brought up a really great idea about drafting stuff for the mansion, and then that kind of evolved into a little bit of an Armchair Imagineering episode. So what we've decided is Andrew had come up with... I feel the sweat inside of this.
How does Dr. Doom do it?
I don't know, man. This is craziness. I mean, if he's wearing this all day, I don't know how he does it.
I think it's like melted to his face. I think I think that's
Probably.
the canon. It's
Probably.
he put it
Victor,
on
if you're
hot, and
listening,
it's-
let me know how you do this, because I don't know if I could do this long term. Just, shoot me a text or something. So Andrew came up with all of these categories for us where we're going to talk about like show building and queue and loading scene. And amongst all the categories, like in my head, I just kept thinking like, man, this is, I want to build my own mansion now. Like this,
Right.
like instead of drafting, like it's fantasy building time. It's roller coaster tycoonish edition,
Right.
mansion style. So that's where this episode is going to go. We're going to kind of armchair imagineer and fantasy build our own haunted mansions using elements and scenes and vehicles and everything from all of the mansions around the world at Disney parks, including, of course, Haunted Mansion here at Disneyland proper, Walt Disney World, Phantom Manor, Mystic Manor, all of them. We're going to incorporate scenes from everything.
Right.
So, given the fact that we already have categories, we're going to start with the building, right?
Sure.
Who wants to go first here?
You know what? I have some
Go.
ideas written down,
Go,
so why don't
Andrew.
I start to give you guys some leeway on to come up with your ideas a little more if you need to.
I
starting,
think
even though
I'm okay. There's some things that I think I was already, because I've already kind of thought about
leaning
this, right?
towards,
Yeah,
right.
there's things that I've already considered in the past, because I know we've talked about revisiting the Haunted Mansion Armchair Imagineering.
Sure.
So this is like, some of this is already in my head, but I think listening, like my favorite part of Armchair Imagineering was always taking the ideas that others would throw out and kind of yes-anding them and
Right.
just building upon those ideas. So I think that's kind of where I am on this one. So
great. Yeah. So don't get me wrong. I love the Disneyland Haunted Mansion. I think it's a perfect attraction, but, well, not perfect, mostly perfect. So we're starting with our exterior building, like what we see as the mansion, quote unquote. And I am picking Mystic Manor. I think that building is very cool. My number 2, just so you know, because I started writing these out in order of how I would pick them if I got usurped, if it was a draft. So I did Mystic Manor, then Disneyland's Haunted Mansion, then Phantom Manor, then Walt Disney World. But I am picking Mystic Manor for my show building, my facade, if you will.
right on. All right, Mel, do you want to go next?
Yeah. I didn't go with our Haunted Mansion. I love it, but I love the creepiness of Phantom Manor and Disneyland Paris, and that would have been my exterior.
Right.
And I'm like, I like the spookiness and stuff. Like I said, I love mansion. I do, but it's fantasy.
I feel like this
I need
is
to put a
going to be...
disclaimer.
I know, I did the same thing. It feels like a lot of it's going to be like, I love the Haunted Mansion, and don't get me wrong, but what if it could be different?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought of that a lot while, in previous episodes that we've thought about it. I've thought about it just in general, like how would I change it, especially because there's elements of all the other mansions that I just absolutely adore how they executed them and stuff. So I have to admit, I'm with Mel on this one, actually. If I have to pick a facade, I love the Phantom Manor facade. That's the one that I would pick because you're talking about a haunted mansion, and I get the whole semi-story that the one that we have here has built around it, where, it was the mansion of an old sea captain, and it's not a canon story, but it's kind of been established as semi-canon, and there's some elements of truth now that the new Haunted Mansion movie is out, but it kind of just like, a lot of that revolves, in my opinion, around the Disney World mansion, which is, I guess, lovingly called Crump Manor, so I think choosing Phantom Manor for me just kind of calls back to that original idea that Walt had about having the spooky house at the end of the park on the hill, and just like the original artwork of having that spooky house. And although I love what we ended up with here so far, there's that disclaimer again. Man, having that spooky facade that Phantom Manor has, that's such a winner for me.
Right.
I feel like we need a banner at the very bottom saying exactly
a little
what
ticker.
we're saying.
Sorry, Mansion, we love you.
We love you, but
just a continuous ticker.
Right. So our next category would be the queue. Our queue. Yeah. I am also picking Mystic Manor's queue. What I consider the queue is everything up until you get onto a vehicle, is what I would consider the queue.
Oh, I didn't consider that. I considered it up until you make it into the building. Then from there, I considered entering the building and boarding the loading scene.
Well,
okay.
If we want to go that route, this changes things.
How did you quantify that, Mel? Like, how did you break it up?
For me, it's more like outdoor is outdoor, but once you go indoors, it's a different story. I don't think that should count because automatically that is a scene. I would
Well,
say.
fine. I was outvoted. So if
Sorry.
I have no, it's fine. If I am picking only until you get into the building, then I will choose. This one is good. I guess I'm going to have to pick until we know what is going to happen with Disneyland's queue, because we don't. I'm going to pick Walt Disney World. I'm going to pick the Walt Disney World Haunted Mansion queue. It has stuff. There's stuff. The outside part has stuff.
The
And a gator.
interactivity is cool. Yeah.
Yes, there's busts and whatever, and they have up right before you get into the door. There's a Leota bust or a Leota tombstone and stuff. So that's pretty. I like that. So I think if we're going just exterior queue, it's Walt Disney World Haunted Mansion for me.
Right.
Nice. So I was going for more. I wanted to try to make an atmosphere of creepy but yet whimsical. So I actually want Haunted Mansion, our mansion's outdoor queue, but I wanted to be playing ghostly music box. And
yes.
just the tune outside. So just being outside and not really, I know it's not really busy while you're in line, but you would look up at, what you see the manor and everything. So I feel like that would be fun to just have that twinkling music before you go in.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a shame that we only have that music during Mansion Holiday because it's just so damn good. It puts you in a very calm but spooky vibe. Right? It's got that just perfect mixture of both of them. So that's a good choice.
Well, and who knows what it'll be once it reopens.
That's true.
That's true.
That's very true.
Nobody really knows at this point.
But in my head, it's that.
Yeah. So here is where I decided I don't want to pull one of the stock cues.
All right, he's putting Indiana Jones queue in front of the Haunted Mansion.
I'm
He's destroying
putting
stuff.
the Jungle Cruise queue. I'm kidding. No, so I want to go back to Phantom Manor for a second because the Phantom Manor queue is actually kind of on a hill.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
big ramp.
Yeah,
like the
it's
whole
is.
way.
Yeah, but the aesthetic of the canopies and everything as you're making your way up fit the aesthetic of a haunted mansion, of a building that's falling apart. However, I want that style queue with the interactivity of the Walt Disney World queue. So along the way,
right.
you see
Okay.
some tombstones talking to you, singing to you.
And
You
busts
hear
and
like the busts and
things
stuff like
and
that.
crypts
I think it
and-
would be really cool to maybe have the same Leota thing or one of the spooks from inside the mansion, similar to the Roz or like Crush or something, where it's peeking into the queue, and as they walk by, it's completely talking to those people. And it's like, oh wow, you would make a really happy haunt or something, and just interacting with the people in the queue. I think it would just help pass the time, and people wouldn't have to spend $400 on a lightning lane pass thingy. They'd actually enjoy being in the queue.
Right, and it
Yep.
wouldn't have to necessarily be like an animatronic or anything. It could just be like a body on the other side of a wall that you can't hear. Like, hey, I'm stuck in this tomb, in this crypt.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
"Go, go, go, let me out of here. Go, go, go."
Exactly.
That would be pretty fun.
That
Look at
would
you
be fun.
injecting. Now I have to think of this. I was thinking just picky grabby. Now we have to think about
Originally, I was.
Armchair Imagineering this. I see now.
But if we're going Fantasy Mansion, I'm building my Fantasy
Oh,
Mansion.
well, fine. Okay.
That's fine.
Let's do it. Let's go, as they say.
Let's go. I think
Okay,
you have to prolong the
let's
go.
That's why I feel like that kid. He's like, okay, let's go. Talking about the Haunted Mansion. Okay, cool. So next would be, what I called the loading scene, but we can lovingly call this inside queue if we want.
Yeah.
We can.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna split this up a little more, this is everything up until we get into a vehicle.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right, everything we get up into a vehicle is now going to be where I put my Mystic Manor queue.
You know what? Can we go back
Sure.
to I before you continue with this
Sure.
one? Just out of curiosity, what is it about the Mystic Manor queue or the building itself? Because it was my third choice. Like
Sure.
just like you, I had them ranked as well. But I had Phantom Manor, Haunted Mansion Disneyland, Mystic Manor, and then Walt Disney World.
I like the the very kooky like whimsicalness of it. It's very much like designed. It's like somebody was like, what's a crazy house look like? And they went like on a page and they came up with this. And I think it's really like fun and eccentric. And that's more, excuse me, of what I like about the mansion. The spooky, I like, but I do like the kooky, more, silly Mark Davis stuff, and even like kooky, like Rolly Crump stuff too. But more of the fun, silly, and I think that really is like present in the architecture for Mystic Manor.
Gotcha.
And lots of circles and a weird staircase outside and a big like bulbous roof thing, and it's all just kind of silly and fun.
Interesting. I've had thoughts about who I would cast, like from my friend circle, as particular people in the SCA. And funny enough, you were the first person that came up when I thought who would play Lord Henry Mystic.
Oh, well, hello,
the
everyone.
The fact that you selected Mystic Manor
Yep.
just solidified that in my head.
You're right.
I've gone over the world looking for artifacts. I am not stealing them at all. I am paying these people for their artifacts and bringing them here to you to do whatever. And my good pal Albert the monkey is here. He sounds
Where's
something like that.
Albert?
Yeah. So that brings me to our loading scene, our indoor queue. The reason I am picking this queue is because of the animatronic that is in the queue. We have Albert the monkey in the queue. So you go into you go through the hallways, and this also, what's kind of cool about this is we have all the SEA stuff leading in here. We have portraits, we have, different offhand mentions. We have our Melissa's Maestro, I forget what his name is in SEA, but the Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman's character
is in this queue. And then you get into a little room, kind of akin to the Tower of Terror like room where you see the TV screen.
Yeah.
And this, we're seeing a TV, a slide projector about our adventures coming, or the adventures that Lord Henry Mystic had done to acquire his relics. And then Albert the monkey's there causing a little bit of mischief, and it's very silly, and I like it. It does have, kind of an anticlimactic, like, all right, now you're in the back of the corridor after you leave that. You're like, we're going in the basement now, or whatever. But other than that, I think, the presence of an animatronic in the queue and Albert the monkey really send it home for me as being on my list.
Damn, I feel like I need to add an animatronic to mine.
To your queue.
I love that idea. Because, before you go, Mel, like, if you think of the Haunted Mansion here at Disneyland, the Ravens were supposed to be the guiding characters to take you through the mansion originally, right?
They were going to be
Yeah.
like the ghost host. Like, they'd
Right.
be like,
They were
hello,
gonna
I'm
play-
the Raven.
Right. And it never really took off as,
Right.
in the execution portion of it, but now I'm wondering if I need some kind of animatronic to guide you through.
Well, think about it while Melissa picks
Go
hers.
for it. I would say go for it. No, I already know where all my stuff is. So loading scene. I fell in love. Like, so when looking for stuff or different cues or whatnot, I fell in love with Phantom Manor. I gotta go to Disneyland Paris.
Let's go!
Let's go. I know, right?
Yeah.
They're loading like I think I love their like loading and how you actually like what you see before you go onto a dune buggy is that it's like mansion, but it's like leveled up.
It's the
Like,
the
put that
scarier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So I love everything from like the portraits, and then at the end you see the grand like the stairwell, and the curtains, and how dramatic it is, and then you see the bride. So just seeing that is like, I'm good with that. Like I would like that, and I would keep it in the like the creepy style and keep it with that. Yeah, I gotta go to Disneyland Paris.
I've said this in the past, but that's the what you see, the staircase and everything, is what Disneyland's Haunted Mansion needs when you're loading.
Yes.
Instead
Yes.
of black walls.
Absolutely.
But anyway, Heyzen, have you come up with any little combinations of indoor cues?
Yeah, I mean, so like I said, I've actually thought about this before, right? And I couldn't think fast enough about how to integrate an animatronic into
Sure.
this. However, what I've envisioned in the past for this new hallway or this corridor that leads you to loading of the vehicle or loading onto the vehicle is a little bit of a mixture of the stretching room that we have now. You still have the foyer, you still enter the stretching room, but I want to plus it up like hard, right? I want so in in Mystic Manor, it's funny that you mentioned it because Mystic Manor has the portrait where they tell you the story and you're kind
it's
of
like a slide projection,
right, exactly. I love that about Mystic Manor. So what I want to do is I want to integrate the stretching room, and the portraits come alive with projections and they interact with each other around the room. There's 3 or 4 different scenes that get recorded so that each time you write it, hopefully you see a different scene. And so you start to kind of see the story about how all of the ghosts that end up in the mansion that you see along the way, how they were in their corruptible mortal state. Right? And so they interact with each other. You see the boom happen. You see Sally like being wooed by somebody and then running away and then ending up on a tightrope to get away from somebody, or, just come up with these little stories and vignettes that play as more and more is getting revealed as the stretching room is happening. So that's how I would integrate that. And then as you exit the elevator or the stretching room, again, Mel, I agree with you on this one. I think the elements from Phantom Manor are absolutely 100% better than what we have here. So some of the portraits, especially of the Phantom and the Bride, the way that those are displayed, oh man, so good. It's much brighter in that hallway, so it just looks so much better. But I would integrate some of that stuff along with the missing piece, the oddities from the Museum of the Weird, so that as you're going towards the vehicle that you're about to board, you see all these crazy like elements from around the world and stuff like that, which brings me to the biggest change in my mansion. We don't have a ghost host. We have another member of the SEA. And this mansion belongs the same way that Mystic Manor belongs to Lord Henry Mystic, the same way that, Harrison Hightower has, his, like all that stuff. Like there's a
Does he
new
just sound like
member.
Lord Henry Mystic, though?
Maybe. We'll see. Maybe he sounds like Hermit or Dr. Doom.
Oh,
Who knows?
Oh, that would be funny.
Maybe he sounds like this.
Maybe he sounds like that, exactly.
Just out of nowhere. That's all
Welcome to the Haunted Mansion, everybody.
Exactly. And
I'm your host here.
Say, I'm your ghost host.
I'm your ghost host, Jay Audubon Woodlore, member of the SCA. You didn't know that now, did you?
So for me, like I get the whole mystery behind not knowing who the ghost host is, but I gotta tell you, man, there's a big part of me. It's always bothered me that we don't know the identity of the ghost host, and the fact that we've made leaps and strides towards giving an actual story to the mansion and making parts of the story canon, and in some ways changing the story of like the Hatbox Ghost and who we thought was Randall Pierce now, but you know what I mean, like all that stuff. I want to know who the ghost host is, and if it's a member of the SCA,
to my mansion.
yeah, like if it's a member,
I
of the
am not
SCA,
home right now. Please don't touch
explains-
any of my stuff.
It
And leave a
explains the
message.
stuff in the hallway, right? You go to touch it and it shocks you.
It
Or
shocks
a
you.
plant tries to like bite you. You know what I mean? So that's one of the biggest changes I would make.
My
so we
name
could still keep the
is-
concept of the bride and
Yeah.
all that throughout the attraction. Like I think that's still like something that you can incorporate, but the mansion has to belong to somebody, and I want it to belong to an SCA member.
SCA member Billingsley.
Be barniferous.
No, that's too close to Barnabas T. Bullion.
Okay,
No.
we'll think about
We'll come
it.
up with something else.
Yeah. So
Thurl Ravenscroft. He just owns it, and he's part of the SCA.
have you thought, before we get into loading, like fully loading, have you thought about vehicle?
I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't really think about it too much, but it's really easy because there's only two options.
Yeah.
yeah.
Which one are you going with?
I think I'm going with the trackless.
Mel?
Same.
Can I quote Andrew here? ¿Por qué no los dos?
I mean,
Why
but
don't we make a trackless doom buggy?
but they basically are. It's just like you could put anything on a trackless vehicle.
No, but I like the shape of the doom buggy. though.
Sure, fine.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying. You could put anything on a trackless vehicle.
All
you
right.
could put a clamshell on the. You could put, Space Mountain rocket ship on a
Imagine
trackless vehicle
one
if you wanted
vehicle
to.
in the mansion is a rocket
that's
ship.
it. A Jeep.
yeah. Yeah, it's a Jeep. 16
A horse.
people or 12 people going through the mansion.
They have one day where they change all the vehicles to vehicles from other attractions in the mansion. It's a horse from the carousel.
Dumbo.
A Dumbo,
Tika.
one of the pirate ships from Peter Pan, everything. The one that ends up on the Matterhorn bobsled, they still end up with back problems, regardless of.
There's
being
a small
on the-
world boat going down the rails. Clank, 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 clank.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
funny.
So yeah, so there's the vehicle. That's pretty easy. But yeah, it's trackless opens up so many more opportunities. Well, here's the thing though. I really like in basically all of the iterations of the Haunted Mansion except Mystic Manor, the change in like elevation, I guess I'll put it. You physically go up the stairs and you fall back into the da-da-da-da-da. You go, you after Leota, you're going up some more. And in the current state of trackless vehicles, you can't really do that. So it would be
Mines can.
nice,
You can.
like go up a
Well,
hill.
You said in the current state, yeah. I mean, in Armchair
Yes.
Imagineering, they definitely can.
Sure. So in an ideal world, these would be like all terrain,
Yep.
trackless vehicles that can climb
Yep.
hills and stuff.
Just like Spider-Man.
Because I am a big fan of the change in level. It really does give you a sense of place, and like I am going upstairs other than just like, oh, I saw a picture of a staircase, I guess I'm going upstairs.
I forgot a big piece of my inner cue before loading.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Finish your
You're
thought
fine.
and then I'll tell you what it was.
That's pretty much it.
I got so caught up in that because I got sidetracked with the vehicle conversation. Okay, so as you're entering, you're seeing all the portraits, you're seeing all the oddities and Museum of the Weird Stuff and everything, and then you round the corner And as you're rounding the corner, you see the scene of the endless staircases from the Walt Disney World
The
version.
the
Like
MC
Escher.
Escher,
Yeah.
looking.
I love that scene, but I
Right.
hate that it's just like a scene that you kind of go by.
Mm-hmm.
I want it set up in such a way where it looks like people are walking on the stairs as they're getting into the vehicle. So there's
Ooh.
reflections and mirrors of people behind you and in front of you that reflect into the different directions to make it look, or they have animatronics and projections that make
Gotcha.
it look like people are walking around the stairs to get you to the destination that is the vehicle you're about to load.
Sure, because
So-
the room there, it just has the footprints
Yeah.
that you in Disney World. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how about we do this because it's fantasy? Who cares? Whatever. So instead of animatronics, why don't we just stick to Pepper's ghosts?
Yes.
Yeah,
all
they
the-
say, hey, it works. In the
I'm
fantasy
for
land,
it.
it works.
I'm for it. And they're all dancing in the opposite direction.
Yep. It smells.
All
In
right.
my Pepper's Ghost effect, we'll figure out how to properly change that.
It would. I mean, in a realistic sense, it would probably be something like a live video feed with a projector and a scrim and stuff to make it actually. If we think about the technology to make it actually work, something I would assume be closer to that.
Yeah.
But it's a fantasy world. We can do whatever we want.
We can build
Yep.
AI into the projection so that when they look down at you and they're like, "Oh wow, hey Melissa,
You're
really cool Loungefly that you're wearing today," and then they just keep walking.
That's a little creepy, but
That's awesome.
I like that popcorn bucket you bought for $37.
Yeah.
Are you happy with your purchase?
Ah, does your wallet feel lighter? I'm sure it does.
Have you got your your lightning lanes booked for the day? You should
Please
you
rate our
should check
service.
it on our Disney guest Wi-Fi.
It feels like you need to go to the bathroom. You should go to the bathroom after this.
Yeah. Take a load off by spending $35 on
Oh my
Dole Whip
gosh.
for the whole family in the Tropical Hideaway at Disneyland.
Sip it and pass it. Sip it and pass it.
Okay, so that'll bring us to, I guess, we can start going through just some scenes we like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can just go through a couple different scenes. So we'll call this scene 1. My scene 1. So far, I've picked Mystic Manor, Disney World, Mystic Manor. And then my scene 1 is going to be Mystic Manor. This is the scene where Albert the monkey opens the music box. I think it's probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen in the history of anything. It has, I would, I don't want this whole attraction to feel, I do like the feel of like Disneyland's Haunted Mansion, they're like a little bit darker. So, imagine these, but like a little bit darker and a little more, lived in, I guess. But that scene where, all the stuff comes to life after the music box is open, the armor and the, and then there's nods to Haunted Mansion history in that room as well with the singing bust and, there's a couple other different stuff in there. I think there's even like a tiki room thing, if I'm not mistaken. But I promise you that this list, doesn't all have Mystic Manor
it's
stuff on
okay.
it. But
Honestly,
I freaking love the Mystic Manor. I don't know
You
what to
do.
tell
It's
you.
it's
so
okay.
freaking cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that Mystic Manor opening scene with all the magic and stuff because it's freaking awesome.
That's funny.
Oh man. So my first scene, I'm gonna go back to our mansion over here, but I'm gonna tweak up the endless hallway. So the endless hallway, it's just one of those rooms where you could actually put things, make it to, come into life per
Sure.
se. Which, all right. So we're in that vehicle and we're going, and the first thing we usually see is the night, but we're not going to have the night. I don't want the night. That's just like
Get him
no,
out of here. Freaking boring night.
Exactly. But in the hallway that stretches all the way through, instead of the candelabra, I would love to be able to see like an effect that you kind of have to take a double look and kind of be like, is that what I saw? Is that who I see or something like that? Instead of just
Lincoln.
no,
Abraham Lincoln?
Abraham Lincoln?
Abraham Lincoln?
Abraham. I'm not Wade's World over here. Wait a minute. Was that Abraham Lincoln? Sorry, I messed up your train of thought. You have to take a second glance and be like, what did I see there?
Yes. So I would love to put the bride, but to have it like hazy kind of way, so you kind of like are guessing.
You're like seeding that early.
Yes.
The idea of the bride.
And then after that, we see the wait, no, that's before. Wait, how am I forgetting this?
Endless
like
hallway is the
casket?
very first thing, and then the casket is on the other.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
Okay.
the corridor doors.
So the casket itself, I would love to have the opposite of the knight be in the casket. Like instead of like the animatronic of the arm, like have someone actually be in it, but they don't come out. But have them come out, and it's like you don't know when the thing's gonna open, so it's not
Oh, this is an actor role.
Yeah.
It's a human being in the casket.
Yeah.
They
So
need
you
to
don't
bring
know
that
when
back,
that's gonna
yeah.
open.
And he can like push it open and be like, blah!
Yep. It could be a foot, it could be a
Open it.
hand, whatever.
That's the thing
Whole
that
face.
it comes out. It's like, have you purchased your Dole Whip today?
Yeah.
Have you taken a water? You should drink some water. You look a little thirsty.
Have you considered catching great moments with Mr. Lincoln?
Have you considered purchasing a DVC property?
Yes. Bookings now available for Los Angeles Export Disney Cruise Line. See
Come
our
listen-
Disney
Oh my
Cruise Line
goodness.
at Downtown
We're
Disney.
gonna give Disney some
Come
bad
listen
ideas.
to our
Please
DVC
don't listen to us.
presentation, and we'll give you a free Dole Whip and
Like
dinner
skip
at
ad,
Plaza
skip
Inn.
ad, skip ad, skip ad.
So I think that would be pretty fun. And then the portraits itself, they have them come alive, with a little bit of magic and have that.
The pictures hanging on the wall in the corridor.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like
yeah.
have them have an effect where they kind of like come at you, or they look like they're coming out in 3D. I think that would be that
Or
would be
it's
my
like
first scene.
it looks like a portrait, but it's like an animatronic. It can go like out of the reach through the painting or like the frame.
And I
or
know
something.
it's technology impossible, but I would love to have it look seamless. So
Nice.
yeah.
So this, for me, is one of the biggest changes I would make to the mansion. As classic and as much as I love this scene, boring. Like, it's gotta go. And, like, from the moment that you board the vehicle, my mansion would essentially show you, like, a giant room. It kind of looks... I don't want to call it the actual, like, I guess I'll call it a library scene just for the sake of argument, right? Because there'll be some books, there'll be some shelves. And the grand staircase that we see at the beginning of Phantom Manor, I actually want to integrate it into the attraction where you actually, like, ride up the stairs.
Right,
And
like
so-
you do at Disneyland.
Like you do at Disneyland. But it's actual, like, the whole, like, scene
Right,
that you're
the whole scene
actually
is there.
riding up
Yes,
into,
you're going
right?
into it.
And it's funny that you mentioned the bride because I want this to center around the bride as well. Like, you see the bride appear and she's kind of like, come with me, come to my wedding. And so you're following her, like, as you're chasing her too. But there's things that are getting in the way of you, like, figuring out where she is. And you can't tell if she's, like, real or a ghost, but you're kind of following her through the mansion to her wedding day, right? And so the biggest change I would make to the Endless Hallway is... because I have the new dune buggies that are equipped with cool, like, magnetic tracks, the, trackless vehicles.
Yep.
But
Yep.
what I want is for it to go into the hallway, like, actually, like, port itself into the hallway, and then the walls on the side of you, swish back. They're projections, and they swish back, and they blow air
Ooh.
at you so that it like you tilt back a little bit, and it looks like you're like zooming through the hallway, and you see the bride at the end. She says, "I'm over here," and then she like goes off to the side, and so your doom buggy turns, and then that's when you go into the next hallway, and you're kind of like maneuvering around the other like portion of the hallway that we're already kind of familiar with. But it's not going to be as long. I think it's too long. I think that piece is the biggest change before you end up in the next scene for me.
When is
That's
the
just a
ride
whole
opening?
new scene. So so here's the thing that I feel like I love where you're going with this, Heyzen, and it's great. I was not prepared to come up with a whole new mansion like you did.
Oh,
so
I can pull something.
No, I'm
So
just
I
saying
can give
this
you my
is
idea, and then I can pull something from another mansion. And
no,
then tell
you're
you what
fine.
I would want.
I just want to say, in the future, I want to do a let's build our own another thing like this. It doesn't have to be the mansion, or it could be it could be the mansion again, even though Heyzen's already had given us all his ideas.
I got way more.
So maybe in the future, maybe it's next Halloween, who knows, is we build our own, we got time to come up with it. We come up with an completely original idea for a attraction in the Haunted Mansion family.
Okay.
So let's put a pin in that, because I want to get these creative juices flowing.
So let me retract what I said. I'll save it for that one.
Sure.
And let me pull an existing scene to keep it
Sure.
closer to what we're doing on this one then.
Sure.
Okay.
So for this
Because I want to,
one,
I really want to do this now.
I get
and I'm
ya.
getting
I
jealous.
get ya. I get you. All right. So if I'm keeping scenes but repurposing them.
And you could tweak them a bit. Like Melissa tweaked hers a bit.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
So
a
if
little
I'm not tweaking like full tracks and not adding additional effects, I would repurpose the staircase to the front, because I love the way that looks.
Right.
Right.
And then from there, I would you have the hallway, and then in Phantom Manor you have I
And
know
you
what
can
I would
pick
do.
any scene. They don't have to be in order. You could put the ballroom first for anybody cares.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking how. I'm wondering if I could still incorporate. So here's the thing, I know that when the Hatbox Ghost was released at Walt Disney World, there was a lot of contention, because people were saying like, oh, the first half is supposed to be funny and the second half is supposed to be spooky.
Well, they were
and
like, the
Leota's
first
supposed
half
to
is
be,
like before
the
ghosts
one that
exist.
like summons
Yeah.
the ghosts and stuff, and so
Right.
that's when you start seeing them. It's a haunted house, man. Like, to me, like, it doesn't matter, right? And I get
The
that
ghosts
kind
are
of
in the
mini
queue,
story.
the busts that follow you,
Exactly.
and in the portraits and stuff. They're already there.
Exactly. So it doesn't make sense that, at least it hasn't fully made sense that they call Leota the pivoting point as far as when the ghosts appear, right?
That's just when all the animatronics are after Leota.
right.
Right.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Now they're all angry at her.
I was asleep.
So I think what I would do here is, so I would have the endless hallway, and I would incorporate the bride instead of the candelabra, where she's like,
Sure.
come with
Yeah.
me. And she like just kind of like swishes by at the end of the hallway, right? Into like the next scene. But instead of the hallway, I want to pull out the Mystic Manor scene with the instruments.
Sure.
And have the instruments start queuing up the wedding music and the wedding march and stuff like
There you
that. And they're
go.
just kind of
Okay.
like getting ready to play at this wedding that's supposed to be coming.
Right.
like
That's
that.
very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
More in line with, I think, what I intended this to be.
I can keep it that way. I can keep
Yes,
it that
you
way.
can.
I just, if my imagination gets going,
You get
Good
excited,
luck
yeah.
stopping it, man. Good
really
luck
in a
stopping
little
it.
So we're just gonna do. I think we'll do 3. We can do 3. We can see how many scenes. So we'll just pick another scene, second scene.
Yeah.
Excuse me. My second scene, I'm gonna do a little Heyzen combo thing. My second scene will be Madame Leota, but
Okay.
behind Madame Leota and behind the vehicles and everything, where we'll incorporate the again, the living portraits from Mystic Manor. The like everything that comes apart to life, the Medusa thing, and like so she's summoning, these things, and the portraits instead of the cart or the instruments above her, we can see all the walls around us, and it's all the different coming alive portraits.
Yeah.
And in the storyline, it'll probably Leota is probably also alive because of this magic box that is opened. So who knows? This is all kind of just like the greatest hits. But that's kind of how I would combine those. As having, I really do like the going around thing, but I think this room would be great if we have the trackless vehicles to put Leota actually in the center, and you're revolving around for a little bit, as opposed to going really slow around Leota like the Doom buggies do. You and like maybe 4 cars total can go around Leota, seeing all the walls, and seeing all these portraits come to life.
Nice.
Nice. Okay, so from the endless hallway, it's kind of like keeping it into mansion like style. So basically it would be Leota, right? But that's not what I'm doing. I'm not doing a seance. This is where I want what Andrew put in the first scene, and that's when the music box is open, but instead of Albert, I want Leota in there. So it's kind of like a step up from the seance room that we already have.
So she can't like the box to open sort of thing?
Let her bust out of the box.
I was like, she don't got no hands.
Let her bust out. Who Hey, anything can happen. So
all right.
That would be pretty cool. And plus I love the transition of it. It's so cool.
Yeah. All right. So I also want to keep Leota as the next scene.
What can we tell you? We love Leota, everybody.
We do.
But I am changing the scene though.
Sure.
Okay.
So I kind of became a little enamored with seeing Leota as a person in the new Mansion movie.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Lee Curtis plays Leota, right? So I want that scene, instead of Leota being in the crystal ball, if we're keeping with this whole wedding scene or this whole wedding theme that she's going, maybe she's not working to bring the spirits, she's working to fight the spirits from coming to the wedding. Right? So it's the opposite effect. And you see a full-blown Leota animatronic doing the incantations and everything to keep the mansion safe from the ghost attacking the wedding ceremony. So I want to see, instead of Leota in the crystal ball, I want to see an actual Leota in front of a card with tarot and a bunch of effects and everything. Same room, you still spin around her and everything, but there's more projections of like stuff happening as she's doing the incantations.
That sounds pretty cool. Yeah, adding in a full-bodied Leota. So here's I have a question for you. Maybe this is a twist for the end. Is the bride, because you say we're trying to keep the spirits from coming to the wedding, at the beginning of the attraction, is the bride a live person?
You'll find out soon.
All right, twist ending. See what I have to do? I have to ruin all the surprises. That's what I have to do.
I mean,
Sure.
that's usually the thing.
So we got
Go ahead.
Third scene. So we'll do a third scene and then a final scene. So my third scene is going to be the attic. Disneyland, our traditional Haunted Mansion attic. But again, I do want to incorporate a little more of the Mystic Manor alive like stuff. So I really like the because this could be like the it's just a big storage area. So I really like the canon segment in Mystic Manor. I'd incorporate something, with the canon in the attic, and I would include what else did I write here? I don't know, but yeah, just a little more to pull in what I have, this Mystic Manor aesthetic I have going on. I love the Disneyland attic. It's one of my favorite scenes. But the bride is not a character in mine whatsoever. So all the portraits and things would turn into more different props or artifacts that are coming to life. And it would end where the Hatbox Ghost is. I will not have Hatbox Ghost because I call that part of the attic. I will have the Phantom from Phantom Manor is there. And the Phantom I would consider the Phantom is also another alive artifact of some sort. He's a skeleton man, basically, so he's also come to life. And that'll lead into my final scene, but the ending of the attic is the Phantom from Phantom Manor, which is a very, very cool animatronic.
Such a good animatronic.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
It is. It totally is. So into my third scene, I love how not going to use the attic. I would say the end of the attic, and then when you fall. So pretty much the story for me would be that you go into this room, or you're going into this manor, you're doing your thing, and then you see things come to life, but at the same time the bride has been she's not nice, she's more she's just a cursed bride. So that's why she's lurking in dark places and stuff. So basically I want to take the end where Hattie is, but not have him. I want I guess this is going to be a crossover kind of thing. So picture in Snow White, where the evil queen is she's her, but when she turns around, it's the old hag. So think of it pretend it's just a disguise. It's just this disguise. So basically where Hattie would be that, and then it would just turn around and it would be her reaching out to you. You fall backwards, which is AKA back support. That's why I want that part. It's my favorite part.
You want your little napping
mansion.
spot.
Yes.
You want a little lay down.
Yes. But at the same time, so you're falling, right? You're going backwards, and then I love the transition from Mystic Manor. I want that to jumpstart the graveyard scene, but it's not a swingy wake. It's more more green lights. You would see things erupting, or thorns, things like that. You would see that as you're leaving. So in certain spots, you know how we have the animatronics pop out of nowhere? Kind of like that, but I want her to be going after you. She doesn't want you to leave.
The bride's trying to reel you in. Come with me.
Yeah.
Stay. You're my husband now.
Yep.
Nice.
We got Heyzen.
So I'm trying to refocus here, right?
Sure.
Because this was another major shift and another major change in the ideas that I had for the mansion.
Sure, you can do combos. I like this combo thing we're going on here.
So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to shift my mindset on this, and I'm going to tell you what the idea is after I take a moment to thank a very special group of listeners known as the FGP Squad.
Nice.
Our
Well
podcast,
done.
Fairy Godparents, because it's their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible, now that I'm talking like Victor Von
the
Doom
Dr.
again.
Doom voice.
Exactly. Here we go. So if you want more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to go to podketeers.com/FGP. There you will find a list of some of our top contributors, a link to our Patreon, and some information about what the FGP Squad is all about. But being a part of the FGP Squad family just gets you some additional perks like access to exclusive discount codes. Sometimes we do these fun calls that you can jump in and we play games and stuff. Those are included. There's extra content over on Patreon. It's all fun. It's like a rainbow, a connection, maybe a rainbow connection, if you will. It's all fun. But if you want to be part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to go to podketeers.com/FGP. And of course, to all of the members of the FGP Squad, just want to send a huge thank you for your continued support. Ah! Now let me do it. No, this is my thing. You stay away. Oh, okay. Fine. All right, I'll take it from here, guys. Another link that we would encourage you to go to is podketeers.com/links. There you will find a link to our latest episode, a link to the Quizneyland playlist, links to our Discord. We would love for you to join the community. By clicking there. We have the link, of course, to the FGP Squad on that page. We also have any fundraisers that we're currently running with Team Boat Willie. We have a link to our YouTube channel and Larry's YouTube channel, Goofy Guys Adventures, and of course, a link to our Armchair Imagineering playlist. So if you want quick access to some of the most commonly asked for links, make sure that you bookmark and maybe even set up a home screen shortcut to podketeers.com/links. And yeah, let's get back to the episode. All right. So here's what I would do.
All right.
I'm trying to not give too much of the story now and too many of the changes because I want to save some of that for the other episode.
The build your own mansion.
Yeah,
Who says
but I
you
want to
can't
give
say it
you
again?
Yeah, who's gonna
But I
remember?
wanna
I'm
give
gonna
you-
forget.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I would do. If I'm gonna streamline this and kind of reel the idea in.
Sure.
What I would do is, instead of going into a ballroom scene where everyone is like celebrating and everyone is dancing after Leota, I would head out a door that essentially takes you to the backyard of the mansion. So you don't go into the ballroom, any of the attic or any of that other stuff. So we bypass those. You end up in the backyard. You know, you see, of course, some tombstones and everything, and that's when everybody could take advantage and be like, hey, look, honey, they got dead people in the backyard. And then you could just, like, go buy it. And so you see the canopy, and you see the flowers, you see the chairs, you see the entire setup for the wedding happening, right? And you hear the words like, you know, do you take this man to be like, you hear the wedding happening
By
a
the
little
power
far
vested
away,
in me in
right?
the state
you
of
see,
California.
yeah, you could see, like, you could hear the wedding happening at the distance, right? But then, as you approach the wedding scene, you see that all of the guests actually are ghosts. They're not real, they actually are ghosts. The bride, still the Black Widow bride, and she turns around, and as she turns around and reveals that she's the Black Widow bride, so does the groom, who happens to be holding a box, and he loses his head, and it goes into the hat box. So Constance is marrying Alistair Crump, and that is partly how he loses his head, and he's just angry, right? So
Wow.
it ties the two characters in together in a wedding scene, and I'll leave it at that before we head into the exit scene, because I know
Well,
that
this
was
is
one of the
this is what I call
categories.
the final scene. So it can be whatever you want it to be. Final scene. There's
Yeah.
just 4 scenes because my final scene is going to be a little more involved. Because that's what I'm gonna do. Anyway,
okay.
that's fine. But it can be whatever. This is from whatever the last scene was till we are gonna get off the attraction. You could that'll be our final scene, quote unquote. Does that work?
Okay. Well, then
Yeah,
if that's
okay.
the
No,
case...
okay.
All right. So if that's the case, then
Yes.
what I will do...
Right.
So I will leave... Oh, man. So I'm stuck in the not giving too much away portion. So, okay. So one of the guests is going to be Madame Leota,
Sure.
right? And at the end, you're just going to hear her say, I tried. I tried
Well, no,
so
no, no,
much.
no, 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 no. Hold on. That's what I'm saying. We have one whole more scene to do.
No, I know.
Oh, okay. So you
got
still have one
scene.
more.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I'm considering the next scene the unloading scene.
Oh, okay.
It's
So
yeah,
what?
it's
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah.
My next scene is whatever I left off with until I get off the attraction.
Yeah.
that's what I have left.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, that's what I have left.
Sure.
So as you're exiting the backyard scene, it's not really a full graveyard. It's just kind of like a backyard of this mansion. Like you see Leota turn around in one of the chairs, and she says, "I tried. I really tried." And then she starts to kind of vaporize, and she goes away. And then that's when you enter like the final exit scene.
Gotcha.
To like get
Okay.
off the vehicle.
Okay. Mine's kind of gonna combine what Heyzen just did, but it's whatever. It's a loosey goosey baby. So my final scene is the last I left off. We saw the Phantom, who's come to life from the magic box, and we turn the corner. We exit the house, and we are now in the town. So this is kind of like the town from Phantom Manor that we're going through.
Yeah.
And we're seeing all the artifacts that have come to life terrorizing the town as we're going through the town. So it's, it's still kind of the similar. We see all the different shops and all the people inside, but instead of being dead people, they're just people being terrorized by, alive suits of armor and man-eating plants and things like that. They've run over the town, and that goes away. We see the Phantom again, and we come up on the Phantom again, and the Phantom is holding the box, the magic box, and then we get Albert the monkey comes up behind him, snatches away again. This is some magic animatronics that we don't have. Who knows how it works? Snatches the box away, is able to close it, and our transition scene. We go back into the magic goes back into the box, and we end up back in the scene we started in.
Nice.
Is how this closes, where we end up, it goes all to darkness. I'm assuming either the vehicles end up going through a door that you don't see because it's all dark.
Are we keeping it the saloon theme, like the Western theme?
It would be somewhat, it would have to be somewhat similar to whatever the Mystic Man, but he could live in an old West town. Yeah, the Western theme, it could, some sort of town. I really do like the Western vibe because you get a lot of like
The miners and all that stuff.
And you just get a lot of like everybody knows about like what an old West town is like. A saloon and a blacksmith and the bank and the whatever. So it's really like easy like storytelling language. Just be like, I get it, a saloon, and then there's a saloon girl in there. There's the mayor, and he's whatever getting chomped at by a plant, and the mayor has a big top hat on. So it's like all the characters we've already seen in the Phantom Manor thing, but they're alive counterparts instead of the dead counterparts we see in Phantom Manor.
Nice.
And then we end up back in.
You know what it could be? I know we're not Armchair Imagineering.
Sure, that's okay. We're just having fun here.
Here's what I think.
This
could
isn't
happen.
not going to be because I'm going to come up with a whole original storyline for when we do build our own mansion thing.
So similar to how Albert is the hero of Mystic Manor, he's also the troublemaker. But he he's all
he is the cause and the solution.
Exactly. But in this case, obviously, it went a little awry, right? Because this is way more elevated than what Mystic Manor has to offer, obviously, because of how that ride is structured and the story behind it. But once Albert comes, I love the idea of him like getting the box, but it could be something as simple as him coming up from behind the Phantom and then closing it and quickly locking it. And
Oh,
so the
was
Phantom
like,
drops the box, and he's like, no! And it's like a reverse of the Beast. Instead of the Beast turning into the Prince, like, it's the Phantom spinning and like, no! And there's like lights and everything.
And then he'd
happening,
have to, he would
and
just have to
drops.
freeze. Because he's, he drops?
Yeah, what I'm saying is like the clothes drops, and then all of a sudden like a human comes up, and so the curse is lifted. It's kind of like in Pirates, right? Like in the moonlight, they're zombies and not they're like people. Like
that's cool.
The curse was lifted, and now he's like a person again.
Right.
And then you lead into the scene, and
then
all the
all the magic comes back into the box, and then you lead into. Because I think that's one of the coolest transitions that's ever happened in a ride is just like. You going through this swirling and you see the magic go back into the box and the lights come up and you're in the room you started out in. It's the coolest thing. I couldn't not put that in. I'm so Mystic Manor pilled, I guess, but
I love it.
That's okay, I guess.
Hey, listen, you may have been Mystic Manor coded, but I'm fully Phantom Manor coded, and I'm sure Mel is too. So it's all good.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay.
All right, Mel, wrap it up.
Woo. Yay. Okay, so we were falling away and entering the graveyard, all that stuff. So I want to make the exit or the final scene to be like Walt Disney World's ending with the technology, but I would love it to be like a tunnel. So instead of just, you know how you have like 3 mirrors or whatever on the side, I would love to see mirrors like all over. So this is like the final scene before you escape. So basically, one, you don't know where your picture is going to be taken or whatever, or video, blah, 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 because you're going to have like flashes and different things, like kind of like the curse coming out, like she's losing that person or she's losing you. So how we see the hitchhiking ghost, like imagine that's her, it's Melanie, and then she's like, you see yourself as she like kind of, I don't know, she does something to make you feel like you're there, but you kind of see it like all over as you're leaving.
Nice.
I didn't think of how the exit would be, like how you would leave, but I would always thought like at the end when you come off, you have to hear hurry back. You have to hear that, because it would make like it would make the story of her like trying to get you back into the manor total creep factor. So that's how I'd imagine it.
Nice.
All right. So to finish mine up, I do want to incorporate the hitchhiking ghosts, but I want a little bit of a mixture of what they have at Walt Disney World and incorporate and finish up the Leota storyline. So I want, like, I still kind of, I like the idea of the mirrors and stuff like that, and I like the idea of the hitchhiking ghost. So I want the ghost to not just appear in line as you're passing by. I want them to like be like peeking out from behind the mirrors and stuff. And as you're rounding the corner, that's when they appear in the mirrors with you. But then you hear like a voice in the background saying, "No, leave them alone." And then they like poof away, like they don't exist in your doom buggy. So you see them for a brief second, and then they kind of disappear. And then as you kind of turn to like get off of the vehicle, that's when you see Leota in her crystal ball form. And then she says to you, "Well, I hope you're happy. I saved your life. You're okay. You can go on with your life. And this is the thanks I get. I'm trapped in this ball. So, yeah, go.
Like that.
Enjoy your day. And, you know, come back and see us again sometime. And maybe come say hi. Bring me a Dole Whip or something. So we can add some comedy and stuff. But we wrap up the Leota storyline back in her crystal ball.
Nice.
I love that. She gets sassy. I love it.
Yeah. I think it would be funny.
I also
Yeah.
forgot to mention in mine that I also in the town, one of the enchanted objects would be the singing busts from Disneyland.
Nice.
Just singing at somebody. It would be very funny. I can't not. I love the singing bus too much. I forgot to write it down. But they would be in that scene as well.
I love it.
So great. Real quick, let's do. We can just do a couple of really quick off the cuff. Do you have a standout character? My standout character is Albert the monkey. If I hadn't incorporated him already, he's everywhere. I could stick him in every scene. Albert the monkey is there. So is there any character that you could pluck out just single character wise and stick them somewhere that we haven't already covered? Is kind of the assignment here from any of the mansions.
Somebody else?
Any single character. You have a standout character like Melissa didn't have the Hatbox Ghost. Like, do you want to be like, I also want Hatbox Ghost, or I want the Phantom, or I want, whatever. Is there a character that just kind of got left out because it didn't fit anywhere, or it was from a scene that you didn't have that you want to just grab and be like, I want to stick Victor Geist in this one because we didn't talk about him, and da-da-da-da-da.
You know what? If I did... Okay, so you brought up Victor Geist. If I were to have him, he would be in the music box room
Oh,
with
there
the
you go.
instruments.
Nice.
Yeah, I would totally have put him there. Even though Leota's there, but whatever.
Yeah, why not? More music.
It's okay.
I've considered this character in how to incorporate him, how to incorporate the character into the overall retelling of the story, because a lot of even what I kept is a little bit of a play on kind of how I wanted my full-blown fantasy mansion to go.
Sure.
Right? So the only character that I didn't talk about today that I think I would want to make a standout character, or pluck him out like you said and just include him, is the Hatchet Man.
Oh.
The Hatchet Man that's in a
portrait.
painting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
see.
actually want to incorporate him as a larger part of the story.
Gotcha.
And to give it away a little bit, the Hatchet Man is basically who teaches Constance how to wield the axe. And
Interesting.
so,
all right. Other quick ones. Do you have a land you would like your attraction in? Of all the lands that Haunted Mansions are in, where would yours want to be? Or I guess it could be in any land. Any land in a Disney park. Where would you want your Haunted Mansion to be?
do you know where yours is? Because I know where mine would go.
I'm going to stick mine... I think I'm actually going to stick mine on Main Street, USA.
Nice. Right next to the castle.
No, instead of the castle.
The way it was originally intended.
Well, that's kind of what I'm going for, is this is the Main Street, the house on the outside of town.
Yeah.
That Main Street, the original storyline. If I had to pick of all of them, I would just stick this in New Orleans Square and just whatever, just because I like New Orleans Square, but whatever.
Ooh.
But my real answer is Main Street.
Nice.
Oh, you know what? I don't care that there's water. I'd put it on Tom Sawyer's Island.
There you go.
Let it be a center-
Hey,
I
that's
was like, wait a minute.
that's pretty cool. I like
know.
that. The
I
Mystic
want it.
Manor on an island all by itself. That's pretty cool.
I
Or
want
Phantom
to see
Manor
it
looking
from
building.
the Nemo sub as a tiny little
Right?
mansion.
That's a good
I
question.
would. So, don't get angry that I'm choosing this, but I'm
That's
choosing Villain's Land.
Hey, you know what? Doesn't exist yet, but it will eventually.
It will eventually.
Villains Land.
It's on the
Haunted
docket.
Mansion. All right. Two more quick ones. Do you envision a narrator / host for your attraction? This is where I would steal. I think I would steal. We have Lord Henry Mystic in the queue, but whatever. I'm stealing Vincent Price from Phantom
Yep.
Manor.
Yeah, because he was the
and putting
OG.
him in there. So that's who I would have for my narrator of some sort anyway. In whatever capacity.
So we're
that
choosing a
is.
real person.
No, but Vincent Price was a narrator of Mystic Manor, of Phantom Manor.
No, I know, but are we? You're not choosing
You can
the
just pick
character
from
of the attraction. Like you're talking about who like narrated.
Right, yeah. Who in most of them it's the ghost host. In Mystic
Gotcha,
Manor, it's
gotcha.
you kind of have your host is Lord Henry Mystic, but he's not through most of the attraction. So
Gotcha.
Ooh. Okay. This one. I wasn't prepared for this.
that's okay. Off the
who-
cuff.
You know what? What if I didn't have one, and I just let the
I guess that's a choice too.
environment? Yeah.
No
like,
choice is a choice.
Yeah, I'll stick with that. I'd rather have the manor speak for itself. I think
there
it'd
you
be
go.
different, so I'll go with that.
Does it have to be?
What did you do to Hazen?
Hazen's gonna be like, I want Madame Leota again because I'm stealing Madame
No,
Leota's.
the thing is, like I said, I want to know the story of the actual like ghost host, right? And
Right,
the
and this
thing
is-
about
yeah.
it, so I'm trying to stick to.
You can abstain, I guess, if you want. We don't have to.
Okay, good. I want Patrick Warburton
All right.
to be. No,
All right. Well, welcome to my mansion.
exactly. That was good, man. No, I would probably want someone like Josh Brolin, to
Thanos?
narrate.
I thought you were
Huh?
gonna say Josh Gad. I
No,
don't
no,
know. My
no.
brain.
Yeah, like
Hey, everybody!
want-
Welcome to the Haunted Mansion, or whatever he
Like-
sounds like.
I want that. Like I want that tone that Josh Brolin brings to Thanos, but
Mm-hmm.
I want him to be the voice of the ghost host because in the new iteration of the story that I would like to see it by Fantasy Mansion, I haven't decided yet if like now that I know that the film has essentially named the Hatbox Ghost, at least on the East Coast, Alistair Crump, and that mansion is Crump Manor and all that stuff. I haven't decided if that's the route I want to take, but I know that I want an actual answer to who the ghost host is. And I think
Gotcha.
that voice that Josh Brolin brings is like just enough to, if it does turn out to be the Hatbox Ghost, he could give it the demeanor that Jared Leto tried to and couldn't deliver as the Hatbox. At least, I don't know how other people feel about it, but I think there was just a little bit lacking in the way that Jared Leto brought the Hatbox Ghost to life.
Sure.
Where I think somebody with that like tone that Josh Brolin brings to the table, would have made it the Hatbox Ghost that I think would have what we envisioned, really. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I'll say it again. Alan Tudyk would have been way better as the Hatbox
Yeah.
Ghost for the we never see his face performance that was given in that movie. Anyway, but that has nothing to do with here or there.
So, yeah.
So
that would
okay,
be
Josh Brolin is the answer.
Josh Brolin. Yeah.
We have Vincent Price, nobody, and Josh Brolin. Got it.
Yeah.
And then final one.
Or if I mean, if we really want to stretch it, we'll have Jim Cummings just make the whole thing in
A
the
whole
voice
new
of Winnie
voice.
the Pooh.
There we go.
Yeah, just
That's funny.
welcome to the 100-acre mansion.
Oh, Piglet, welcome to. I can't do it. It sounds like an old grandma. Final one. Music, soundtrack. What is there? Is there of the mansions that exist? What music you picking? Or it doesn't even have to be the exact music, but the kind of the feel, the mood of the music. This is where I pick Disneyland's Haunted Mansion
Yeah.
music. I have such an affinity for that. The Mystic Manor's great. That's the Danny Elfman stuff. I wish I could listen to it more. Wish they would release it so I could hear it more. But the Phantom Manor stuff's great too. Like it's most of it is a play. It's all a play on
It's
the
all a
original
play on
Disneyland.
the original one, yeah.
But some of them have a different tone. this is where I just picked the original.
Yeah. I would definitely go with that too.
I gotta agree on this one.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah.
That
We
was.
did it, folks.
Yeah.
We've Frankensteined our own mansions out of a bunch of pieces of other mansions.
Yep.
And you've gotten a sneak peek at the craziness that's coming from my
Added some
fantasy
new
mansion.
stuff, right? So I say I keep doing this to us, and I'm just gonna keep doing it. Next Halloween, we have 1 year. Next Halloween, Fantasy Mansion. This is.
I think we should aim to do that sooner than Halloween.
Okay, well, at least by next Halloween.
Okay,
how about
that?
that?
Actually, yeah.
We have 1
Okay.
year to
So
figure
if
out
we deliver
when it's gonna
sooner,
happen.
yay us.
Yes.
We'll talk about the details of what it all entails some other time offline. But I think that's a promise we could make. Yeah. At
Yes.
some point in
Oh,
the next
definitely
year,
is.
we'll do that because that
Yes.
sounds like fun.
Yeah. All right.
Well, we did it.
We did it.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween if you celebrate it. We're recording this on Hallows Eve.
All Hallows Eve. Yes.
And
That's our dress.
congratulations to the World Series winning Dodgers who won
Yes.
just minutes before we started recording this episode.
Melissa had to
Yep.
take a
I was-
break.
I had
Yeah,
to take
Melissa
a moment
had to
for
calm down a
myself.
little bit. Yeah, I was
Looks like we didn't start on
concerned
time.
that the fireworks
Right.
and everything that were going on outside were going to be a problem, but they stopped fairly quickly. I was, pretty happy about that. But
Nice.
yes, congratulations to the Dodgers. My family was watching the game in the other room while I was working in here, and I was just paying attention to their emotions going back and forth, and it was such a close game the entire time, and it was an amazing series. I have to admit that this is one of those seasons where you kind of win people over as a fan, right? And I think
Yeah.
I'm on there. I'm on that brink of like, okay, fine, I get it. All right.
You won me
And
over.
but I have to be careful because then it's like you're a bandwagon fan only when they're winning.
We welcome you.
It's
No,
like,
no, no, no,
listen,
no, no, no.
I'm
We'll
not a
welcome you.
baseball fan to begin with. Like, I'm not a big baseball fan. So the
Boring.
fact that I'm even saying like, okay, I'm willing to root, I get it now. I get the hype. I got into it. I was excited. I got a chance to watch some games. I was following it towards the end of the season. I was worried for Freddie Freeman, and look, first game he like walked. I mean, come on now. It's
Yeah.
a fairy tale World Series for the
It
Dodgers.
was.
So
Nope.
you won me over. You won me over. That's all I'm gonna say. So
As
All
a
right.
that's how
third
we're gonna end the
generation fan,
episode.
I was gonna say we'll welcome you.
All
So,
right. Well, I
you got that.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. So that's it. That's gonna be the
wait,
episode.
wait. Next, Quizneyland coming up. I just want to.
Oh,
we
sorry.
have.
We got
That's
too
okay.
excited.
I just want to let you know. Next, we have a Quizneyland coming up. And
it's
it's
a big
our
one.
it's a
Yes.
3-year of Quizneyland
Yes.
coming up. I think I might have done. I'm announcing it early just so everybody knows. We got 3-year coming up. This may or may not end up also being a video episode that might go up on the Podketeers channel at some point. But yeah, 3-year episode coming up for Quizneyland. So I just want to talk about announce that early. So yeah, that's it. Now we can continue. We can leave. We can go to bed.
Or
back to work.
Yes, back to work. It is. So that's it. That's going to wrap it up. Again, happy Halloween to all of you that celebrate. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and always remember to pass on the magic. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Bye and go blue. Sorry, Andrew. Sorry.
You say bye, and then I go see ya. That's how it
I'm so
works.
sorry. I had to.
That's okay. That's how it ends. Happy Halloween!